How's it going, you guys? Laser here. I'm going to be doing my final video on the LAN build series. So I'm actually going to build the computer with you guys from scratch. Absolutely nothing in the case. I'll be using the case that I reviewed, the motherboard I reviewed, and the power supply. And also I'll be using a Core i5 2500K. So I hope you guys like the video and stay tuned for more. Okay guys, so we have everything laid out that we need here. I'm going to just take these screws off the back of this case real quick. And we're going to go through the whole computer. So we're going to build this entire computer. This might be a really long video. I'll try to cut it up to make it a little bit more swallowable. Easier to swallow. I'm going to move a couple things real quick, like... Okay, so the first thing that you're going to want to do is make sure that your motherboard is going to line up with the preset risers. Mine looks like it is perfect. And then you want to put in the back plate. So I'm going to set this down. Grab my back plate. Yeah, you gotta be pretty awesome to open one of these, apparently. Guess I'm pretty awesome. Anyway, we'll put this up here. So you're just gonna push in on each side, kind of get it in place. Yeah, I'm gonna grab it. Maybe you can kind of see it on my camera. Oh my goodness. Alright, I think that's in as good as it's gonna get. Possibly, maybe. So just to show that to you guys, that's what it looks like. Put that in there. Set it down. Then we're going to install the CPU. So we have our motherboard here. And then you have your CPU dust plate for the Intel CPUs, because the pins are actually on the motherboard, not on the CPU. So you want to kind of be careful, not open this before you have to. So I'm just going to undo the hinge. And then I'm going to take my Core i5, which I have here. This is a used one, so that's why it's not in the box still. This is from my main computer. I just upgraded my main computer to an i7. So I'm going to get some alcohol here and then a cloth. And then just go ahead and wipe off the surface. I wouldn't necessarily recommend using like a t-shirt, but that's just what I have here, so it'll have to do. Okay, once you clean the surface of the CPU off, go ahead and open the hinge and remove the dust cover. Which is kind of hard to do with one hand, apparently. There we go. And then you just want to make sure that you put it in there to where it's nice and easy in there. And there should be a triangle that lines up with where you put your CPU in. Yeah, so like this cap has a triangle right here, and that's where the triangle is on there. Usually it will have like the text of the CPU on the top, just straight up and down like it should be, but not always, I guess. So just look out for that. And it takes some force to get this locked in here, so just lock it down. And there you go, the CPU is installed. So we got our Core i5 in there. In the meantime, you're going to put some thermal paste on there. And I use Arctic Silver. I'm going to clean off the tip of this because it's kind of messed up looking. This is the very last of my Arctic Silver, so I'm going to put that on there. About a pea-sized amount. And that's pretty much all I have left, so that's awesome. Okay, let's see here. This thing is kind of weird to install. Oh yeah, it's kind of scary. I probably would recommend not doing it like directly on a table like this. Not even with like the foam behind it. Uh-oh. I think I might have bent one of the things. That's what's kind of sucky about these stock style coolers. So they're not very secure. Maybe I'm not supposed to have them interlocked. Definitely going to cut this part out of the video because I look like a total noob. Okay, so then you're going to put it on there. Okay, goodness gracious. This is an extremely hard to install heatsink. That's one thing I remember about it. It uses the stock style, but it's just like not as easy to install as a stock Intel cooler, and it's really difficult actually. So that took a while, so sorry about that, you guys. But next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and install this RAM because the fan is going to be in the way of the RAM sticks. So I got my 8 gigs of G.Skill Aries from my main computer. I decided that I don't really need 16 gigs for any reason. So I'm not going to run 16 gigs. I'm going to use it on this one. And have another computer that can help do all other sorts of tasks. Let's make sure we're not breaking stuff off the motherboard here. Now I'm going to install this fan because this fan is extremely annoying. And I'm going to blow out some of the dust. So this one has a really weird system where you have to hang the fan off of it with these rubber clips. But they're not very secure or easy to put in unless you are building it like from right now. I don't know, I think maybe this is a Roseville. Could be wrong on that one, but pretty sure that's what it was. Alright. So there we go, we got our CPU cooler and our CPU installed, our RAM, compound, let's go ahead and plug this in. You're just going to want to find the header named CPU fan. Boom. Alright. We'll kind of figure out some better looking wire stuff in the future here. Gotta kind of do it as you go though. That's one thing that distinguishes like a nice looking computer build is great cable management. So I guess the next step really would be installing the power supply. We're gonna move this. Move this video card. It is the R9 270X. Grab this thermal take. Take all this stuff off. I have kept a lot of cable ties around. Well, these kind of spinning kind. So hopefully I'll have really tight cables in here when we're done. Oh man, that thing. Talk about unscripted comedy, man. This is terrible. Okay, so this is where we're going to route all our cables through here. Down at the bottom. So, we're going to tuck them all in there first. That's why I broke that side open. Let's go ahead and maybe put this like this. So we're just going to put it in there. We're going to get the screws that were included with our case. But yeah, I like the flat cable design like they said. Gives it a nice look. Now you can't even see the cables in there. So that's the objective, is to put them all on the other side in some type of strategic way here. So you have the 4 screws on the back. Hard to kind of show it to you, but you got 4 screws on the back there, and you're just going to put them in there to secure it in. Now, one of the reasons I would actually put this in a downward facing position is because, as I did not mention in the case preview, there's a pretty good amount of clearance at the bottom because they have feet. So usually I wouldn't do it, because if I was ever to put it on carpet, I wouldn't want it to get hot, but it has some nice feet on there. So if it's going to be my LAN PC, I want it to try to stay as cool as possible. Okay, now I have to put this plate back in, so give me a moment. It's this fan that gets in the way on this case. And then you have the motherboard mounts. Alright guys, so we got the back plate on there. It's ridiculous. It's kind of the worst one I've ever seen in my life, so no big deal though. We'll just go ahead and put it in there. We got it. So the next step is going to be putting in that motherboard. So let's go ahead and take the motherboard and put it in there. You want to try to not touch any of the pins on the back or anything like that. And you want to kind of look at the back so you can line up everything. And you're going to screw those screws right into there. A screwdriver. What I usually do is I screw them in from the furthest side. Oh my goodness. I thought it was a boss. No magnetic screwdriver is a real big problem though. Oh man. That first time I got it in there. Now I can't seem to get it back in there. There we go. Oh, this is going to be a really hard one. Especially with this heatsink here. I can't take the heatsink off though, so I'm going to have to figure out a way to do this. Okay, give me a second, you guys, and I'll get it in there. Okay, so I had to actually take the whole heatsink off and everything just to get to that. But as a consequence of that though too, I do also have a nicely hidden CPU fan cable back there, so you can't really see it as much as you could before. Let's see, let me show it. So there's that. That's pretty nice. Is nice. Alrighty. Okay, now just a bunch of other things to wire up. Okay guys, so the next thing I'm going to do, because I know it's going to be a nightmare if I don't do it now, is hook the case up to all the motherboard connectors. So I'll be hooking those up. You might want to read the manual if you're not used to doing this kind of thing. I've done it a bunch of times, so I'm not going to read the manual. But if you're stumped, then that is definitely the best way to know which pins you're supposed to plug it into. I'm going to take a lot of this stuff and run it in the back. Alright, so kind of did this method right up here. I don't know if you can see it. Let me take a look. Nope. Basically what I did is route these cables through these holes right here so they're out of the way. Do the same with this fan. And this fan also. And kind of show you what the finalized look is once all the cables are tucked. So as you can see, there's hardly any visible cables. I'd like to move maybe, you can't even see it really on the camera right now, but this cable, I'd like to maybe try to do something better with that. And so what I'm going to do next is just go ahead and plug in all the motherboard cables. Okay, so I put all the motherboard cables in there. As you guys could see, there's everything in there pretty much. So now the next thing is to plug in all these power supply cables to the appropriate things. So I am going to plug in some of the things here first, and then we'll add the stuff like the graphics card and all that. Okay guys, so when you plug in your power supply, make sure that you look and see if you have a CPU that requires more power, like a 4-pin connector and a 24-pin connector. I had to put one in mine, so that's what I just did there, was kind of get up there and hide it. I think this is going to look really clean. I'm hoping it's going to look really clean. Okay, I'm just going to plug a couple more things in real quick. Okay guys, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to install the video card. So I'm going to take this video card here. We got the R9 270X. We're going to put it right into the slot on the motherboard. We want to make sure we have 2 of the slots open down here. And I didn't really look at this design, but it's kind of like a plasticky thing. That's one of the less impressive parts of this build, I would say. Take this out. Regrettably, I did not get a Wi-Fi card, and I should have got a Wi-Fi card. But I'll figure that out in the future. Oh, there's this cable in my way. Okay. Uno momento. Okay, I'm gonna need to cable tie it up. Okay, push it in there, nice and snug. Look at that. Look at that. That's just beauty right there. Jeez. Alright, time to hook it up and get it all screwed in. So to hook this one up, I'm going to need my PCI Express connectors. I regrettably said that you could probably run SLI on this power supply, but I don't think you could unless they were both 6-pin ones. But you know, Radeon, so has to be hella power consumption. Alright, kind of fold this down. That's what I typically do. I'll even like kind of wrap these into here. Yeah. I don't think that looks too bad. I think it looks better than just hanging out. So there we go. Nice and tidy. We'll have to screw it in now, so go ahead and do that. And then we'll get our hard drive mounted in here also. This system is kind of nice because you could be back here and screw your cards in. So there is a plus side to it. Nice. Looks great. I like this computer already. Alright, so I'll get this hard drive going in here. I'm sure there's going to be a weird type of mount. Like these or something. Maybe not. This is why normal people look at a manual, but I don't look at manuals. Oh, look at that. It's actually toolless. You just have to get it in there, right? Oh wow, nice. Super easy. So I'll just put that right in there. Boom. Then I'll plug it in from the back and you won't be able to see any of the cables. So that's nice. Look at that. Boom. Sorry you guys that the camera's not in the best placement. But it's looking pretty good. I'll do some glory shots afterwards. Alright, we have pretty much everything installed. We just need to plug the hard drive in to the motherboard and plug in the power. And then, really we should be good to go, you guys. That's pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. Alright, so it's totally plugged in, and then the only thing I have to do is some more cable management. So I'm going to take the camera off now, and then I'm going to do all the cable management and everything and put the side on. And then I'll do some beauty shots, and that's pretty much it. And then maybe I'll show some videos of it booting here in the next video, or maybe even in this video. So yeah guys, stay tuned and it'll be just a moment. Okay, that's it guys for the Core i5 LAN build. I hope you liked the video. We got a chance to install our Core i5 with our nice cooler here. Our Thermaltake 650 watt, which I did an unboxing of. Same with the motherboard and the case. And I hope you guys liked this video. One cool thing I wanted to show you on this case is there is a fan controller. So you just press this switch and you can turn the fans off, so you could make it nice and quiet. And also you can make it obviously not as bright, so if you're trying to sleep, that's nice. So you turn those back on. And then I wanted to put the side case on here, side panel on here, just to show you what it looks like. It's actually kind of dark, so there is that. Alright guys, I hope you liked this video. If you did like it, make sure that you press that like button and also subscribe. And have a good one. Thanks very much.